Hi, it's Claire from Come Back Brighter here. So I'm sorry I've been quiet for such a long time. I've been going through some stuff, but I'm ready to share some of it with you now. And I have to share this with you because this is like a massive, massive victory. And I hope that like in me sharing it with you, then it kind of brings to light some of the stuff that maybe you've gone through previously or something you might be going through right now. And that is something that I haven't really talked about before, and that is spiritual warfare. And this is basically what you come up against when you're dealing with a narcissist, okay? And this is like the biggest reason I think why narcissists are so dangerous, okay? Because it's not so much what they do to us on a physical level or even like emotionally, but it's how they attack us, how they damage us spiritually, that can be so utterly, utterly devastating. So, what's happened with me just very recently is that I've really realised like the points, like the things that mean that I'm going through some sort of spiritual attack. Okay, and I want to share it with you because previously this is the kind of thing that would have taken me down into a very deep, very dark pit, and I would have been depressed for probably months after this experience previously. But now I have a greater understanding of it. So basically, what happened is I've kind of had a run in with someone. Let's just say that, and I'm aware that she's not as she presents herself. Um, and and basically, I think she's a covert narcissist. Okay, and so I'm quite sadly quite experienced with covert narcissists, quite experienced with their the way that they work, quite familiar with the red flags of the covert narcissist. And I think really the biggest one for the covert narcissist is that you feel sorry for them, okay? And that your kind of pity for them like supersedes anything else. Okay, that's like the foundation of your relationship, whatever relationship it might be that you have with them, and that's that pity. So you feel so sorry for them that you will compromise yourself. You feel so sorry for them that you will, take their nonsense, that you will allow yourself to be dumped on. So covert narcissist will come and take all their trauma and their whatever, sadness, frustration, anger, and they'll come and dump it on you. So they're moving the load, so they feel better, but you feel like heavier afterwards. So I've had this run in with this person. I know exactly what I'm dealing with. Unfortunately, the tendrils of her behavior is affecting a particular social group that I'm part of, and I think has already done quite considerable damage there, which is very sad. But people just don't realize that they're being manipulated. They don't realize the covert narcissist won't be overt in their behaviors. So they won't actually necessarily like overtly gossip about you as a part of the smear campaign, but they'll do things and say things that will just undermine other people because they know everybody's weaknesses. They know everybody's weaknesses. They know yours if you're the target, and they know everybody else around you. So what they'll do is they'll hone in, and whatever that the anybody's weaknesses are around that person, around their target, they will hone in and they will drop little subtle hints, and they will imply things, and it will be so cleverly done that the person won't even realize that they're being manipulated. They won't even realize it. So sometimes a covert will be an overt gossip. They will say bad things about their target. There's no denying it. But sometimes in certain circles, sometimes they have to go even more covert, and then they'll just do it so cleverly that the other person won't even realize that's what it's all about. So what's happened recently is I've had a couple of days where I just felt this, I can only describe it as like a darkness on my heart, like a weight. okay? Like almost physically pushing me down, okay? And this has come like from nowhere, okay? This is from everything's fine, everything's good. I like I say, I've got these issues with this particular person, but everything is just rolling along fine as far as I'm concerned. So there's no reason that I could see it like in my life why I should be feeling this way. And it covered me like a black blanket, okay? And then I hear the thoughts coming in. Okay, I hear the thoughts coming in, nobody likes you. I hear the thoughts coming in, you're never going to find somewhere where you belong. You will never be accepted. No one loves you. No one cares. And I know their voices. I know that that's not me. I know that's not God, because it doesn't make me feel good. So I know that's the devil coming in there and putting this stuff in my head. And then this is before I realized what was going on. Then what starts to happen is those like once the kind of doors open a little bit for for the enemy to come in, then he just swings wide open the door. And the thought that came into my head was, I'm exhausted by this. I'm exhausted by being in this situation again where someone has taken against me not through anything I've done. Okay, this is not through anything I've done, it's just by being me and whatever I do wherever I go. Some people don't like it, okay? And I can only presume that it's the darkness in them that doesn't like it, and they have to do everything they can to try to squash me, to try to control me, to try to bring me down, to try to stifle the light that's in me. Okay, that's what it feels like. It's like trying to stifle my light, like my light. And then the thought comes in, this is so painful, I don't think I can do this again. And then like hot on its heels is the thought, I just want this to end. I just want this to end. So I went from like everything is fine and normal, you know, like this is not like a general descent thing into depression like I've experienced previously. You know, something goes wrong and then something else goes wrong and then you're down in the pit before you know. This was like I'm fine one day and then bam, it hit me. Okay, so I've learned to not just accept these things. Okay, I've learned to question and kind of scratch a little bit and find out what's actually going on here. Okay, so I can sit back and I can listen to these voices and I can go, what's all this about? Okay, and then I realized, okay, I was talking to my husband about this because he's probably the only person in the world who really gets me, and trying to pick it apart and find out what's underneath it all. And then the next day I've come down with this cold. I don't know if you can hear, but I've got a cold at the moment. So literally, I had this discussion with my husband trying to work out what this was all about. And I've worked it out. I've worked it out. What it is this woman who's taken against me has launched a spiritual attack against me. Okay. And I know why. I've been here before. I know why. And basically what it is whenever she feels threatened by me, whenever I connect with somebody else in our social circle, she swoops in, like not doing anything on the physical, although I expect she's probably bad mouthing me to everybody, very subtly, very cleverly, manipulating people against me. She swoops in and like spiritually launches attack against me. Okay. And I know that this is her because the other time that I can think of within like the last 6 months or so was when I again was like forging a connection with somebody independent of her, and I had exactly the same thing happen, exactly the same scenario, but I didn't work out then it was her. Okay, so I'm telling you this because I like once I realized what this was really all about. Okay, this isn't really about like feeling isolated and feeling lonely and no one understands me and not belonging and not connecting with people. That's not what it's really about. Okay, what this is really about is this woman has launched her forces of darkness. She's been recruited by the enemy. So I know this is not her. This is not about battling the flesh or whatever. This is about the spiritual dimension I'm talking about here. And she's got her, whatever, the demons are attacking me, being instructed by her. Now, I know this for certain because this is the second time it's happened. And it's exactly the same pattern as happened previously. So, and I realize now that the last time it happened was exactly the same thing, exactly the same scenario. I was connecting with somebody in our social group, and she didn't like it, and then she got angry with me, and she did whatever she did, that launched this spiritual attack against me. Now, the last time I went through this, it did affect me, okay, and it didn't affect me for that long, so I'm learning. But this time, wow, this time I went, oh my goodness, this is spiritual. I get it now. And I really did. I shook it off. I went, I am a child of God. This is, and now I know that it's her behind it. There's nothing I can address her for. I can't speak to her about this because it's nothing that she's done, like physically on, she's not done anything against me. She's not gossiped about me. She's not slagged me off, gossiping, overtly to people. She's not done anything to my face to do this stuff. But instead, what she's doing is she's going even more covert, and she's kind of polite to me, to my face, although a little bit odd. And I'm perfectly polite and civil to her. But she's realized that she's got to hide her hatred, her bitterness, her jealousy, all this stuff against me even more. And so she's really delving into the spiritual realm for this to let them unleash the darkness onto me. And as soon as I realized that, I went, no way, this is not happening. This is not happening. You can get behind me, Satan. This is not happening. And I tell you what, I literally, again, I've been here before, I made the decision, but this time I made like an empowered decision. Okay. So the thing is, I'm really telling you with this is, don't let your feelings dictate to you. Okay. Because all those feelings that came into my head are not true. None of them are true. It's all from the enemy, and it was all to crush me, and it was all to make me feel down, and it was all to try to depress me. I mean, maybe, if I hadn't like grown this much, I might have been in a pit of depression for a long time and not got out of it. I don't know. But instead, when I realized what was happening, I went, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. And I feel so empowered. And even though I've got this cold, even through this cold, I'm pushing through it. Okay. I'm not laying in bed. I am resting, but I'm not laying in bed like I would have done previously. Now, previously, what would have happened is the enemy would have been dropping this stuff into my ear. You're this, you're that, you're the other thing. No one likes you. Everybody hates you. You're never going to connect with people. No one cares. All this stuff, all these lies piling on, piling on. And I would have listened to it and believed that it was true. And then I would have gone into the pit of depression, and it would have taken me 6 months to come through, at least 6 months to come through. And in that time, I would have isolated myself from everybody. I would have done the bare minimum that I could get away with. I would have just been away from people. I would have, and then I probably would have had to claw myself out of it, really, for my son, because this is what's happened previously. So I see this pattern where I've battled depression, but now I know who's behind it. I know that the enemy is behind it, and he cannot control me anymore. He has no power over me whatsoever. So what I want, and I think what happens is we can actually, like, this was traceable back, right? This was traceable back, okay, to this person finding out that I was I wasn't trying to forge a connection. I was just trying to help people. There's no connections made, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just, this has happened before, so I see the pattern. And I think what happens too is that we kind of, this can happen, like, even if you've like not spoken to people for maybe years, okay, so you've got out of a lot of toxic situations. So the situation that I'm in with this particular lady, I can't get out of. If I want to get out of it, I've got to come out of that social circle. So, and I'm not willing to do that. So I have to kind of put up with it. I can't just, you know, I have boundaries. I have really strong boundaries. But I can't come out of it like I would have done previously, which is kind of like, you know, it's great if you can come out of it and it doesn't like isn't detrimental to your life, and you know, that's the best way to be. And sometimes you have no choice, you have to do that. But in this case, I don't want to come out of that particular social thing, so I have to find a way of coexisting with her. And now it'd be really interesting to see when I see her next how different the dynamic is between us, because I shall walk in there with my head held high. It's like, you know, this is not, I'm sorry, love, but that didn't work. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But you did whatever you did. You cursed me. You said all these horrible things about me. Whatever you did, you had horrible thoughts. I don't know, jealousy, anger, whatever. You wished all this horrible stuff on me. It didn't work. It didn't work. And that's the way it is. I've realized. So if you're getting that feeling, right, if you're absolutely fine, you coasting along absolutely no problem, you haven't got like anything particularly specific in your life that's kind of bringing you down or making you feel bad or whatever, then just have a little think. And I think what happens, you can see when basically you've been flagged up to somebody. Okay, because I think this is what happens, right? When you're flagged up to the narcissist in some way that makes them feel threatened, makes them feel jealous of you, makes them feel like angry towards you, or whatever it is, it's all going to be bad stuff that they're going to feel about you. As soon as it flags up, it's like, poof, right, if the flag's been sent up, right. And that's when they launch their attack. Now, I think they do this at birthdays, Christmas, anniversaries, any kind of special occasion that you might be celebrating that they know about. Okay, so they've got to know about it. So they've got to have a kind of certain amount of knowledge of your life, or I mean, they know about your birthday, obviously. But I think this is what they do. They launch a spiritual attack at particular times when they think we're at our weakest. And our weak points are usually around our birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversaries, Christmas, Easter, like the holidays. Those are our weak points. That's the time. And that's the time when they launch the spiritual attacks. Or it might be that they hear some whatever about you, that I don't know, you're just graduating, you're getting married, you're having a baby, you're buying a new house, whatever, on the kind of, the gossip channels in the background. And then that'll be when they hear that'll be when they launch the attack against you. And then what will happen is you will feel really down. You literally feel like a darkness and a blackness, a weight on your heart, like, I'm really down and I don't understand why. That's when you're under spiritual attack. That is when you're under spiritual attack. And that's the time when you have to go, there, this is a spiritual attack. So let's have a look at this. Let's think. And you may not know why. You may not know why it's flagged up, because you may not have had contact with that particular narcissist for like 10 years, but somehow they've heard something about you and it's about that thing. Okay. And you don't know that they know, if that makes sense. So you don't know that's why it's come up. Okay. But that'll be what it is. If you are feeling down, if you're having these feelings, these thoughts coming to your head, I'm a crap person, I'm a bad person, I'm a failure, no one loves me, no one cares, all this stuff, then you're under spiritual attack. And that's when you need to go, I am a child of God. No, not happening. And I tell you what, I've not been on this journey for very long, but boy, is that empowering. So I've realized previously where we're so used to feeling depressed, we're so used to feeling like crap about ourselves, we scapegoat ourselves. And I can see in my life previously where I've gone down one pathway, okay, and that pathway was rubbish. That pathway was awful, and it led me to depression, like suicidal thoughts, all this stuff. Okay, that's the way the pathway goes. And eventually what happens is I go, I can't do this anymore. I have a child, I have to claw my way out of this. Okay, or previously to having a child, I have to get medication, I have to see a counselor, I have to do something to get myself out of this, or I have to change my situation that I'm in that's causing this depression by making a huge life decision. But I have to stop this because I see that at the end of that pathway is death. Okay, I've been there on more than one occasion. And it's a really well-worn path, right? It's really familiar. And the devil's going, bing, 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 bing. you want to go down this way. This is the arrows, bing, bing. There you go, walk down this way. You're really familiar with it. It's comfortable. It's all stuff that you're used to thinking about yourself. This is all stuff that you're used to feeling about yourself because of the crap that your mum and dad put on you, because of the crap your siblings put on you, because of what your partner told you was, what your friends made you feel like you were like. There we go down this pathway. It's really familiar. And what I've realized, like literally in the last like 10 years or so, is I realized that that point at which I'm like making a choice, the point at which I go, I can either let this take me over and then I can go down that dark place, go down that dark pathway that's so familiar, or I can go, I can do this differently. I don't have to go down that pathway. I could go, that doesn't feel good, but I can carry on with life and like literally like push it to one side. Now this time, the difference about this time is I've gone, no, this is not happening. No, bog off. This is not happening. Get behind me, Satan. I know who's behind this. The enemy is behind this, and I'm not playing. I am not playing. I'm taking myself out of the game. I am a child of God. It doesn't matter what you throw at me. It's not going to make any difference. It's just going to bounce off. And then I feel empowered, and I feel determined, and I feel like do you know what the other thing is as well, is when these spiritual attacks that come against you, it's like the devil's doing it because he's scared of where you're going, he's scared of the breakthrough that's coming, he's scared of where this is going to take you, he's scared of the blessing that God is going to put on your life. He's terrified. And then I'm like, yay. Because if there wasn't going to be this breakthrough, if there wasn't something for him to be terrified about, he wouldn't be coming against me. So just if you can try to detach yourself and just see this as like sometimes I see it as, you see in cartoons or films or whatever, you see you got like a devil on one shoulder and like an angel on the other, okay, and you could, the devil is like in your ear and all this stuff, but you can choose who you listen to. You can choose which one you listen to. So I had to share that because this is such a massive breakthrough for me. This is like a victory that I'm celebrating. I'm so grateful to God for bringing me here. I'm so grateful. He's such a good God for bringing me to this point where I see the games and I don't play. I'm not playing. I'm not getting down in the dirt with you. I've been there before and it's rubbish. I don't ever want to do that again. And being able to see the pattern of who's behind it as well has really helped. I see why they're doing it. And it's just anyway. So I had to share that with you, and I'm just inviting you that, like, if you have previously felt like this darkness over your heart, like this weight, like this kind of literally a weight on your shoulders, right? And that weight can mean, it still feels so heavy and I can't do anything other than, I have to just stay in bed because it's too heavy. And there's no as a reason for it in your life, there's something spiritual going on. And that's the time to remind yourself that you are a child of God. Remind yourself about the promises that he's made for you. Remind yourself that whilst you might not have had an earthly loving father, you have a loving heavenly father. Just remind yourself of that. And then just shake it off. Just shake it off. Really. And I know maybe I might sound like I'm oversimplifying things, but I'm just telling you what my experience was so that you can understand that really we are kind of complicit in this. Like if we let those thoughts get to us, if we let that the enemy take us down that dark pathway, we're kind of complicit. We're in agreement, really, aren't we, with him if we do that? And really, it's a choice. We can choose to go along with it, or we can go, no, no, sorry, go find someone else, or do whatever you want to do is up to you. I don't care. So I hope this helps you understand. I hope this helps you if you're going through something at the moment. I hope this empowers you. I pray, Heavenly Father, this will empower people so that they can see the machinations of the enemy, they can see what the devil's up to, and they can realize that it's not true. It's not true. And to remind themselves that they are a child of God. Amen. I hope this helps. Bye.